Hey y'all, let's chat. So today we're going to be discussing, as you can see from the title, the new reality TV show that everybody's been talking about on Netflix, Love is Blind. Before we get into that, I just want to take a moment to say that I greatly appreciate everybody who's been so supportive to me throughout, my transition with being unemployed. Um, I'm going to do a full recap later as far as giving you guys an update on where I'm at, what I'm doing, how life's going. But today I just didn't want to start this video because I've filmed since then and I want to just acknowledge everybody that's donated, that sent me prayers, words of encouragement. It's been amazing to see how people have rallied together to support me and they believe in me and what I'm trying to do, what my passion is. And so I didn't want to let another video go by without acknowledging that publicly. So, if you are not in the loop, you probably shouldn't be watching this video. I really want to get into doing more review type videos on the shows that I watch because I realize that there is a huge network of people that are watching these same shows. So, yeah, if you haven't seen Love is Blind, I suggest you get to it because this Thursday they will be airing the reunion. So I wanted to make sure I did this video before the reunion because even since the very last episode aired, there's been a lot of chatter on social media about different factors. And so I'm going to touch on some of those, but I really just want to dissect these couples because y'all know relationships is my thing. Dating is my thing. And I'm a hopeless romantic. So shows like Love is Blind, I watch that shit. I watch what the fuck is the name of it? Married at First Sight, 90 Day Fiance. That's been my new baby. If you haven't seen 90 Day Fiance, please watch it because this season is hilarious. It's barely started, so you got time because right now they're doing before the 90 days. But these people are a key. All right, if you don't know what a key means, that means they're funny as all hell. So yeah, I'm a hopeless romantic. So I get into all of these little dating and these love shows and matching up and just non-traditional ways of meeting people and finding love, and I just love it. So yeah, I was hooked on Love is Blind. For anybody that is watching and doesn't understand the structure of it, pretty much they put all of these singles. I can't remember exactly how many, but let's just go with 15 men, 15 women. And they put them in these pods and they talk and they cannot see each other. So they're pretty much looking to get engaged to somebody within a couple day period. I think maybe most of them had like a week to figure out if they was gonna mesh. You start off talking to everybody and then it seems like they just start to pair you with, you get to choose who you want to further communicate with based on those initial connections. So if you see me on Love is Blind season 2 in the pod, man's your business, all right? Because I ain't got nothing to lose. I will definitely be in them like, hey, boo, you trying to get married? Cause what? I mean, traditional dating ain't really been working that well for me. So why not? But just in case you see me looking, I got my laptop because it's a lot of details and I want to make sure I don't forget anything. One thing I was kind of lost on was it seems like I don't know if everybody was from Atlanta. That's what I think just based off the information that I've gotten since the show aired. But I know that what's that man's name? Cameron was saying he was originally from Connecticut. So I was a little thrown off how do you do this? So with people from different cities. But it seems to me like everybody has to at least live in the same state. However, no, because Mark and Jessica was from Chicago. So I'm a little confused about how they made this work based on if you from a different city and you match with and you vibe with somebody who's not from your city, how does that work? That's a little confusing. I don't really get all the logistics of that, but I do enjoy watching non-traditional ways of finding love. I actually read that even though we saw, let me see, we saw how many couples? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we saw 6 couples, but I actually heard that 8 couples had got engaged. And so I think that Netflix just said that, the creators, they didn't have enough time to air everybody, which makes a lot of sense. Like, they really had to condense and put a lot of stuff in just those few episodes. So, one thing I did not realize that they was going to, like, give people up until the day of the wedding, like, in the wedding, to say no. Like, I figured, like, if you wasn't going to marry somebody, you probably should have been able to say that before you go through everything. But let's go ahead and get into these couples, okay, one by one. So let's start with the couple who did not make it, baby. The one who had the black community chatting it up, Carlton and Diamond. I know for a fact, like, the black men that are watching this are probably like, damn, they got one black man on there, he just gotta be gay, even though he's bisexual, part him. I know the black hetero men was pissed because they hate, and I can understand that the representation of it, like, the one black couple just had to have some shit. Lauren homegirl, she held it down, but her man not black. So the one fully black couple, it just had to be some drama. That's not always a good look for us. But moving forward. So I feel like when it comes to Carlton, there were a lot of red flags from them being just in the pod. Whenever you hear a man who is constantly, ladies, keep this as a key. Whenever you hear a man who repeatedly tells you how people have left him and nobody, like, stays down with him, and he just was saying a lot about, people don't accept me for who I am, and people always walking away from you. Run. It's the reason why people walking away from them. You may not see it yet, but baby, if that person has a history of just, like, it's different when you can acknowledge that, sometimes things don't work out. But when a man plays the victim card, where it's like, people always leave me and they don't nobody ever stay with me, it's a red flag. It's a big red flag, because to me, it's like, well, what's going on over there where people aren't sticking by you? You know what I mean? And sometimes it's a manipulation tactic, because then they get you all attached to feeling like, well, if I leave, if you leave, men are good for that. If you leave, you just like everybody else. You don't do it. Be like everybody else, okay? Because clearly there's some stuff going on internally that person needs to work on. So I feel like the conversation around what it means to be biphobic or homophobic or whatever you want to call it has been booming since their episode aired. And I've been on Twitter, and people got a whole bunch of think pieces on Twitter, and for a second these people really had me, like, evaluating, like, am I biphobic? Because my first preference isn't to date a bisexual man. And so, like, people were really shaming people, like, y'all are homophobic and y'all are biphobic because y'all wouldn't date a bisexual man, and this is why you have men who are on the down low and can't be themselves because, black women won't accept them. So I had to really sit and, like, introspect. Now, I think the issue is that people don't really understand what it means to be phobic of something. So, as a definition, to be phobic means having or involving an extreme or irrational fear or aversion of something. Now, I understand in some cases how the aversion piece can play a role, or even the fear piece, because I think what people get upset about is like, well, if you ask somebody why they don't want to date a bisexual man, you typically get responses that are like, oh, they're worried about, contracting AIDS or HIV. Or they're worried about, him, the women are worried about him leaving them for another woman or, another man. And so people are like, well, it's very stereotypical and not fair to make these assumptions based on that population. And so it brought up the conversation of what is the difference between having a preference and necessarily being biphobic, right? So I think it's different when it comes to within a community, right? So I can say that you suffer, again, I've done a video on colorism and how colorism is different from having a preference. It's not okay to say within the black community that you're only going to date people with a certain skin tone or complexion. As long as they're black, I don't see a problem with it. You know what I mean? So to me, it's just like, why is it wrong that I want to date straight men? You know, so I didn't let myself get too caught up in that, and I don't think anybody should. I think the issue is, now I can't say that I would never ever, like, you know what I mean? I think that's the difference, to say that you would never. And even if you do, it's like, why is it not okay for people to want to, or to prefer to date within their community? It's no different than a black woman saying, I only want to date black men. Or white men saying, I only want to date white women. That wouldn't offend me. You know what I mean? Like, because that is your culture. That is your community. So I even saw a gay man on Twitter who was saying, like, so I'm a gay man. I only want to date other gay men. Does that make me biphobic? And some people were like, yeah, you know. But again, I think it's this issue of people wanting to feel included and not excluded, and not to say that there are definites. And I think that just, it gets very complex. Like, the whole time I was just like, I was trying to think of how I was going to talk about this, because again, I don't think it's necessarily wrong to want to date within your community. I've heard about lesbians who don't like to date bisexual women. You know what I mean? So for me, I always looked at Carlton and was like, now, a piece I heard from the streets is that Carlton has been gay. You know, I feel like women, we got a radar, and I definitely got some tendencies from him. Again, that's not to discredit what he identifies as. If the man says he's bisexual, he's bisexual. However, I do think that there's certain things that you pick up on if a man is not completely hetero. And that may be wrong to say, but I'm still learning and I'm still growing, you know. So excuse me if that offends you. But so let's get back into this. So what I was gonna say was, I think sometimes it's not that women couldn't accept a bisexual man. I have homegirls who do that. I think that sometimes it goes back to dating within your community. So if you identify somewhere within the LGBTQ spectrum, then you'll probably have more luck dating within the LGBTQ spectrum. Just because people, again, I think a part of it boils down to understanding experience, right? Experiences. So that's why, again, this gay man who I saw on Twitter said, like, I prefer to date gay men just because they understand my experience. No different than I want to date a black man because he understands, you know, the societal or systemic things that I'm up against or that are rooted in what it means to be black. So I think when you put it that way, it's not that big of a deal. Date people that want to date you at the end of the day. It's not necessarily about people being, you know, phobic of any kind. It's like, go where you're accepted and you're welcomed and you're embraced, versus trying to dim your light or hide yourself for the sake of wanting to appease somebody who may not fully accept you. That's how I look at it. But I will say, because people were saying that he was not, you know, people who are defending this whole biphobic thing are saying that he wasn't wrong for just not disclosing his sexuality. And I'm going to say that he was. And not necessarily that he was wrong, but it's like, you don't give people a chance to fully accept you without kind of having those conversations. Like, I think if you start dating somebody, me as a woman, let's say I was bisexual, I think that would be important to talk to if I'm considering dating somebody, let alone marrying them. Like, that's the thing. It's like, they're not just meeting to hang out and watch Netflix. These motherfuckers are getting married. So that, I think, is like, you sharing everything else. You sharing all your deepest, darkest secrets, but you are purposely withholding the piece of you that you know could not fully be accepted. And why is that? You know what I mean? I understand what you want. I want you to get to know me as a person, but that is a part of who you are and how you function, you know, throughout your life. That's a part of your sexuality. So I'm not going to sit here and say that he was okay for withholding that information, especially because Again, we would like to live in a world where everything is accepted, that we could do and be whoever we wanted to be without any type of opinions or backlash or commentary. However, knowing that him being a bisexual man has gotten certain criticisms before, why not get that out the way? Why not put that on the table? You know what I mean? It's like, I tell a man, I want you to know I wear wigs. If you got a problem with a woman that wears wigs, I'm not the woman for you. I'm going to tell you that up front, so when I take this thing off and we get ready to go to sleep, you're not caught off guard. That's what I think it is. Like, don't allow people to be caught off guard, because then you have to give them the space to process it because you weren't fully, upfront about it in the beginning. I do feel like she had some I feel like Diamond had some hesitancy towards Carlton from jump. I think she really wanted to connect with him and embrace him. But even when they met, I watched it back with my friend, and she pointed out that Diamond kind of stepped back. So when you pay attention to certain body language, it's very telling. I think that he was super wrong for how he reacted to her processing what she was feeling. Like, you're upset because you felt like she should respond in one way. And the thing is Diamond wasn't really out of pocket with her response. Like, she definitely expressed herself, I think, in a respectful way. And because it wasn't what he wanted to hear, baby, that sass came out. That's what I'm talking about when I said we see certain tendencies, because the moment he got pissed off, see, this is why I don't date bitches like you. Most, a hetero man probably wouldn't go there. Not the way he did. And I think for everybody watching, that was like a, moment. Because I don't think I feel like she probably could have came around had he given her the space to just express what she was thinking and how she was feeling, versus feeling like, oh, well, this not what I want to hear, so fuck you. Like, that shit, that was petty. I actually really didn't like, now I'm gonna say, we all peeked. If you know about some hair, you peeked Diamond's wig. We knew it. One thing is, like, did these people not know that they was getting ready to be on TV? Like, was it a last minute phone call? Because why did y'all come in there looking like that? Her specifically. We in 2020, wigs have come entirely too far for y'all to be walking around looking like that. So I'm not going to say he was wrong for pointing out her wig, but she was all up her ass before, so don't be trying to shame my sis for her bad wig when before, you was all in her face. You trying to be her man, trying to be her hubby. So I don't like that now. Like, if you're going to have a problem with something, have a problem with it from jump. Don't be trying to, like, pick and poke at her and try to call it out because you mad. Like, that wasn't okay. Let's see what else I got on Diamond and Carlton. Yeah, so apparently Carlton has been out to be on TV before. I saw a clip of him in a scene with Kenya. I don't know if that's an old season of Real Housewives of Atlanta, but he was giving very much gay assistance. So, yeah, I think that's all I got on that. Let's move on to Damien, and we're just going to call her Gigi because I have a hard time pronouncing Giannina. I have a hard time pronouncing her name, so we're going to go with Gigi. Baby, Gigi is toxic, okay? Toxic femininity in, like, its fullest form. The first thing I was able to notice is the fact that, like, their communication was trash. And it really, from what we could see, it wasn't more so on the part of him. It was on the part of her. Like, the fact that they was having that argument at Barnett party and yelling in front of everybody, she calling that man out his name, like, check your partner in private. But to do that in front of everybody, like, I was secondhand embarrassment easily, because I'm like, oh, y'all got problems already? Like, but she was wrong for that. I'm somebody, I don't believe in calling, as a woman, I don't believe in calling a man out his name. Like, again, go, if you ain't watched Fair Fighting, go watch it, because I just feel like that just takes stuff to a whole new level, and then it goes to places that you can't really come back from. So yeah, she was wrong for that. I feel like this is one of those situations where we see how our upbringing truly influences how we navigate relationships, because her justification for how she came at him was like, well, the people in my family yell, and that's just how we talk, and that's just how we act when we get mad. So, she's normalized it, but you have to be able to understand in the grand scheme of things, just because you were raised in an environment where certain things were happening or okay, does not mean that that is the healthy or the right way to do it. So I think that she was petty when she tried to insult him on the quality of sex. Like, you said that I was the best that you ever had, but do you ever hear me return the compliment? Ma'am, that is, she wrong for that. But that was like, I understand if you feel deep within you that you would like your man to be more aggressive or just to initiate sex more. But that wasn't the way to do it, baby. Killing his ego was not the way to say, hey, I want you to initiate sex with me more. Like that, I feel like was really out of pocket. And that, again, you want to think about what is the best way for me to communicate this in order for me to get whatever need I need met. To insult the person, completely not the way to go. I feel like they were the couple that kind of really misused love. Like, so you're not in love with me anymore. I think for them, a lot of it wasn't love. It was lust. It was intrigue. And so for them to because what they were referring to were like these butterflies. Like, love isn't butterflies. Like, love is purposeful and intentional, and most times it's a choice, like, that's backed up with effort and actions. Like, it's not just something that exists as a feeling. It's not just butterflies. I feel like she took it really personally when his parents didn't want to meet. I feel like she is, it's valid for her to be upset. However, you have to remember, you're going about finding love in a non-traditional way. Everybody is not going to be on board with that. So you have to be ready for some backlash, whether that be from his family or from your family, and be prepared to go through with it anyway. Let's see what else. Oh, the whole phone issue thing. Like, I feel like this is one of those situations where you could really have a good connection with somebody when all the distractions are away, which what they did for them. But then when you start to add those influences back in, you really see, like, things change. So for her to say that, for him, I think for him, he was like, well, you be on your phone, but you don't return my messages, or you be on social media and things like that. I get social media is her job. However, you have to be able to compartmentalize and know, like, this is partner time. I need to get rid of the distractions and just focus on them. But yeah, he snapped on their date. The whole helicopter, chef, like, I was like, come on, energy. Like, this is what we need. Then she was all, oh my God. But you wasn't trying to have that energy the whole time, and this man still went out his way for you. However, I do want to point out that Damien might not be the sharpest crayon in the box, because I do remember him saying something about, like, he damn near jeopardized his job to come there. Why? Like, if you can't take some FMLA or something, I don't know. Like, to jeopardize your job, like, as a man, I think a woman could probably jeopardize her job if she knows she's going into a situation where she could potentially get married. However, as a man, doesn't sound smart. So I'm not surprised that he didn't go through with the wedding. I think everything that he said at the end with her was valid. Like, you're not ready to be in this long-term commitment. Like, it's one thing to act that way and to have that energy the day up, but up until that point, baby, you was tweaking. And you thought that man was still up. Nope. I was like, what was crazy was, it was like the Maury camera following her when he said no, and then homegirl fell. She fell. I mean, I feel bad, like, just because nobody wants to see their love end like that, or be caught off guard to think that, they getting ready to marry somebody and then the other person says no. So, yeah, but her dress, bomb though. It was really cute. And the last good note I have on here is, like, she said something to the effect of, I've always treated you with kindness. Lie again. Lie again. Like that be the problem is people can't take accountability. Oh, I forgot a very important point. Let's go back to Carlton and Diamond for a second. So he contradicted himself that whole conversation by the pool because he really tried to sit there and tell her, "You're the only person that's ever reacted like this." You're lying. You're lying. You're lying because your whole fear is around the fact that people have or women have jetted when they found out that you were bisexual. So don't sit here and try to flip the script now that you getting a reaction that you used to and try to make her feel bad, guilt her into feeling bad, when we clearly know that's not the case. He lied his ass off on that one to sit there and say nobody's ever reacted like this. You're the only person. You're lying. You're lying. Okay, I had to say that because that was something I was like, are you nuts? Like, you really gonna sit here and, like, we seen you in the little cubicle when you was talking by yourself, talking about how people don't accept you. And then you're gonna try to make her feel bad for having a similar reaction. Like, keep it. Okay. Let's move on. Whew. Amber and Barnett. Child. Them I have to dissect separately. I feel like Barnett was definitely probably the type of guy that gets caught up in the moment because the discrepancy between like how he was feeling and talking about Amber and how he was feeling and talking about Jessica, like it was just like whatever felt good in the moment, that's what he was going with. And I think a lot of men get caught up in that versus really thinking about like what is going to be best for me. If we haven't noticed, Amber is a bum. Okay, I was like picking up little stuff as the season went on, and I'm like, everybody else went to their partner's houses. We didn't go to Amber's house. We went to go see her mama, and even her mom was like concerned about his ability to take care of her. Like, red flag, your daughter should be able to take care of herself. His mom was on point because she was like, let's make sure this is not lust, just lust. Because she already probably know how her son get down. He looked like the typical frat guy who's just ready to get it in with whoever is, ready to give him some attention. But yeah, like, why don't you work? She must have, I work when I feel like it. Bitch, what do you do? Why don't you work? Especially considering you're homeless. Like, you hop from your friends' couches. And that's not to shade anybody that's ever been homeless. But it's like, why aren't you working and you have the ability to work? I feel like her priorities are all messed up. Her homegirl got a half of a degree. She got all this student loan debt, don't even have a degree. Her priorities, like, just completely, like, to say that you spend all this money on makeup and you work 2 days out the week and you don't have somewhere to live. If I was Barnett, I would have been like, man, can't do it. I feel like Barnett should have saw those as red flags. But if he liked it, I love it. I think this show is different than Married at First Sight because I just assumed that everything that involved the wedding that Netflix or the show would pay for. And Amber was saying how she has to pay for, her dress alterations and stuff. So I'm curious to know, like, what all did they pay for and what all did the couples have to come out of pocket for. And the hilarious part was Barnett was so worried about what Amber was going to think about his house. It's kind of small and all this other stuff. Baby, she just happy to be there. She don't have a home, okay? Amber came in like, oh, this is what we going to do here. We going to put the baby room over here. Like, Amber was just happy to see a space. She got her book bag ready to move in. So I just thought that was like hilarious. That he was so concerned about her judging him when she ain't even got a pot to piss in. Whew. I was actually kind of worried he was gonna say no. It's cool that he didn't. I mean, she's a pretty girl. Like, I could totally see that. I think him being scared of her or being, whatever that's what he likes to call it. But I think that's what was driving him more than anything is like she's different and you never know what to expect. Men like when you can keep it spicy, Okay. So I think that's all I got for them. Let's move on. Okay, baby. Mark and Jessica. You see, y'all, my daddy fixed my table. You see, I don't shake no more. Y'all don't hear that noise. This is solid. Shout out to him. Okay, Jessica. Jessica to me represented the epitome of what happens when you settle as a woman, especially when you are an older woman. Like she's what, 34. The level of discomfort that I experienced just from watching her, I never want that in a relationship, ever, 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 ever. I think so. Let's start from the jump. I think she was really manipulative and messed up for being mad at Barnett for doing the same thing that she did to Mark. Like you literally sat here and told this man that you wasn't sure because you was trying to explain your options, and then had a whole fit. Now I will say, Barnett came on a little strong. He said some stuff that he shouldn't, which he acknowledged. But baby, babe, please shut up. Please shut up. Like, she blew me with that. Like, you are a hypocrite. Now, had you just been chill, you probably would have got the man that you was looking for. Maybe. We don't know what would have happened had she not blown up on Mark like that. I mean, on Barnett like that. Oh, puppy dog Mark. I feel like even though Mark tries to like display that he knows his worth and all of that, I think when it comes down to it, Mark has low self-esteem. It doesn't, even though like he claims he knows his worth, but it was very clear that he was just looking to get in wherever he could fit in with her. And that in itself, like this whole show makes me uncomfortable because it doesn't allow people to have the boundaries that you would normally have with people that you just met. Like, I tell my clients all the time, if you meet somebody and they just, all the stuff that they were expected to do, they spilling their guts to you, they telling you their deepest, darkest secrets, that usually could be a red flag. Or they're just so available for you. But in this case, it's kind of the expectation. Hold on, what does it say? Oh, so I feel like Mark could have easily stood his ground when Jessica was doing the babe, but he gave himself permission and an excuse to move forward with the relationship that would fit the narrative he wanted. So the whole like, my mom said if it comes back to you, if something leaves and it comes back, then that means it was always yours. No, that's what you want to believe, and that's what you're telling yourself to make you feel better about accepting the fact that this woman damn near tried to play you. I feel like Jessica went out her way to make the age thing a problem. Like, you knew from jump how old the man was. So to sit here and to just be, oh, what is everybody going to think? I'm 10 years older than you. You could have accepted that from the beginning. So to continue to bring it up as a problem is just, she's trying to feed her own narrative of why it wouldn't work out. Like, the whole family dinner went well. His mama ain't care about her age. His mama actually liked the fact that she was older. You know what I mean? Like, and her friends didn't care about the age gap, which is what she was so concerned about. Then she was like, oh, now Mrs. Cuevas, I'm gonna be Mrs. Cuevas. Like, girl, now you excited. Please stop. Yeah, she's trying to use that age. She was trying to use that age thing as a scapegoat, so she won't look like the bad guy. Yeah, with Mark, it's like, don't let nobody tell you multiple times that they unsure about you. Even once they really kind of got into the relationship, it was multiple times where she was like struggling with, oh, I don't know how attracted I am to him, or I don't know if this is gonna work. Like, be one and done. Like, don't let nobody keep doing that to you. I feel like Jessica was trying to, when they was at Barnett party, she was trying to overcompensate. You wasn't even really messing with Mark like that. Wasn't giving him no ass. But you was all over him because you was trying to prove a point. Stop. Oh. We all caught when she let that damn dog look out her wine glass. Nasty. Furthermore, ladies, you have to listen to your intuition. Even if, like, everybody around you is convincing you that this is a good situation and this is who you should be with, up until that time, up until she tried on wedding dresses, which she kind of didn't really want to do, she was having second thoughts. So that in itself should have been a keynote. Like, yeah, my heart, my spirit, not in it. I think that she also was contradicting herself. Like, she told her friends that, you know, Mark was her best friend and her person, but she wasn't keeping that same energy when she was actually with him. And was telling, you know, she was telling Barnett, oh, we're just so similar, but then turned around and told Mark, like, we're complete opposites. We never would have worked. Somebody's lying. She definitely tried to throw shade at Amber when she was saying, you know, I think that you guys are good together and her whole life is you. And look, Jessica know Amber ain't got nothing else to do. But that definitely was shade. He didn't catch it. I think her saying that he was, like, she was getting turned off that he was too emotionally available speaks to what I was saying about the whole boundaries issue. Like, because he would just do whatever she wants, and I think it depicts the whole, like, that's why I have an issue with the saying that goes, like, find a man that loves you more than you love him. Because I think when that happens, then you're in the position of not, like, things don't weigh out. And then you end up like Jessica, where, you know this man worships the ground that you walk on, but it's not always attractive either. You get what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you want a man to be able to challenge you and stand up to you, and not always a blast. And when you have a man that loves you more than you love him, sometimes I don't think you get that. Baby, when she told Mark that Barnett was sexy, I almost lost it. I'm like, you should have thumped her in her head. Oh, baby, when she tried it with Amber, we was all waiting on Amber to check Jessica around Barnett, and when she was drunk at that bar talking to her, Amber told her she would ruin that girl's life, and I believe her. Because Amber ain't let nothing come in the way of her meal ticket, her house, and her man. Nothing. So I also saw something online that said that she was faking her voice for him, which we could kind of tell, like, oh, babe, how are you doing? The voice that he so fell in love with, like, she does not talk like that all the time. You cannot convince me she be in her business meetings talking like that. I knew Jessica was not going to marry him. And we'll talk about, so before I get into that, I had a feeling she wasn't going to go through with it, even though she was trying to bring herself around to it. Baby, but I will say, his mom, when she was comforting him, I almost teared up. And so what I've been told, based off of, like, stuff that I saw on Twitter and Instagram, is that apparently, a couple things. So apparently the reason why Jessica was drinking so much is because her dog almost died, and she was really stressed out about that. So that's why she was throwing back that wine like that. Another keynote was that apparently Jessica actually tried to quit the show the first day of them being in Mexico, but producers told her that she had to stay, and that she would have to pay $500,000 to break her contract. Somebody said that they claimed that Mark knew this, but I don't believe that Mark knew this just based on his response, because somebody was like, I feel like this shit fake. And I'm like, do you see the way these people are crying? If these people are able to evoke this type of emotion, these tears, they some great actors. Promise you. Because the way he was crying in his mama's arms when that girl left him, I don't think that could be fake. So I wouldn't say that it's too far off to believe that Jessica tried to leave and not get married to him earlier on, just based on, it would explain a lot of her behavior. It would explain why she was just so resistant to the process. So yeah, I see why he loved his mama so much, because the way she coddled him and said we could cry together, we could do. It's all right, Mark. You a good man. We just gotta get you the right women and some self-esteem, and you be good to go. Okay, almost done. All right, let's go ahead and talk about Kenny and Kelly. I'd probably give them the most boring couple award. Did anybody peep that Kenny lied? Unless they edited this way, he was capping to the guys on the honeymoon when everybody was talking about if they had sex or not, and he didn't exactly say they had sex, but when they asked him, he was like, let's just say I couldn't get up for my morning jog, and they hadn't had sex yet. I was like, ooh, Kenny, you lying on your dick. That wasn't okay. I hope I wasn't the only person that peeped that, because they definitely hadn't had sex, and this man was kind of giving the impression that they had. That was kind of lame. I think that Kelly saying that she was apprehensive about having sex because she's lacked orgasms was just an excuse. Like, you as a woman, if you don't know how to get there, or you've had a history of not getting them, to withhold sex or to not have sex or to not try because of a fear or whatever you want to call it. I mean, I get it, but baby, you need to go to therapy to work that out. Go see a sex therapist, go do something. But you can't necessarily, like, be in a successful marriage and not address that. And not tell him. Did she tell him that? I can't remember if she told him that. She told her friends that she got a best friend die from him again. Like, we could kind of see that Kelly wasn't really feeling Kenny. Felt like, I usually like darker haired man. And she actually tweaked on Kenny because Kenny had a bag. Kenny was not bad looking. He was pretty cute. He was tall. He was nice and polite. You can even tell her parents, her family was pissed when she, like, didn't marry him. Like, looked at her like, you are tweaking. Kelly even questioned her own idea of what love is. Like, she was just so concerned with, like, infatuation. And I think sometimes people give, like, passion a little bit too much credit. Like, passion can be created when both people are intentional about manifesting that part of the relationship. But if one person is half in, you know, it doesn't work like that. You never really grow chemistry like that. I figured she wasn't probably going to marry him, even up to when, you know, she was getting her hair done and stuff. And I'm like, can y'all people have not backed out of this beforehand while y'all got all these people sitting here dressed up, dolled up? At least some of y'all was able to go turn up at a reception or something. Everybody just left with their feelings hurt. Like, that was a complete waste of time. So that's pretty much all I got for Kenny and Kelly. Like, I actually heard on social media that Kenny moved away from Georgia and he got him a nice little girlfriend. So kudos to him. Kelly, she gonna end up like Jessica and just be lonely forever. I mean, and that's not to say I'm the first person to tell you you ain't always got to be in a, you know, you don't have to have a fulfilling life. You don't have to be married to have a fulfilling life. I truly believe that. But to say that you want love but not necessarily be open to a certain extent, it's like, just accept that might not be your calling and leave it at that. But I feel like she tweaked. Okay, and up last is our favorite, Cameron and Lauren. I love them. And I love them from the beginning, from jump. Like, the vibe, I feel like, even when you see certain stuff on TV, sometimes it can evoke an emotion, a connection. You know what I mean? That's why it's like sometimes we cry when we watch movies. Something in us, it feels authentic. And that felt authentic to me. I love Lauren for representing for the black girls and, like, just being truly her. I feel like she was so genuine and was truly herself. I love me some Cameron, baby. Love him. You talk about dating a white man. Give me that white man like Cameron. We can get around. And I think white men who have a history of dating black women, they just move differently. Like, they just have a different understanding. And you can just kind of tell that this is not their first rodeo. Did y'all see him rap? Look, Cam got a little spice in him, okay? I was getting worried about Lauren because I felt like she was getting ready to tweak on him. And he was the best pick out of all of them. Like, did y'all see the house? Did y'all see Cameron's house? Like, the moment they pulled up, I'm like, that would have been, I'm like, oh, so we gonna put the nursery over here. Like, he was telling her, like, you can do your studio in here. You know, I want it to be your home. Ooh, goosebumps. Come on. Energy. We love to see it. Cameron is patient. He's kind. He's in touch with his emotions. Like, to see him tearing up and stuff, like, I know some women don't like men like that, but embrace them emotions. I need to feel you. And because I cried at the drop of a hat, so we can cry together. I thought that was beautiful. But yeah, Cameron got a bag. He's smart. He's fine. I went on his Instagram, seen a picture of him with no shirt on. Oh, abs for days. Her daddy was funny as hell, like typical black dad. Like he was not with the shits at first, but you know he kind of came around and was said, "I need to see more from you," which was true. Period. On her wedding day, my sister had like 2 good mink lashes left on. I'm like, y'all know y'all gonna be filmed. Can y'all please like make sure y'all are together? You had time to go get a lash fill in. I know they probably just put strips on top of it, but I'm standing there looking at her like, sis, you have on 2 lashes. Can you please have somebody take those off? Oh, and I almost like fell out of my seat when he said being with you makes me feel thankful. Like to know that Cameron, and if you don't know, Cameron and Lauren are still together. Spoiler alert. But if you've been on social media, you should know that. Like I started following both of them. They are literally the most successful couple I feel like fairy tale, absolutely. And I think he's amazing. So yeah, that's it for the couples. Just a couple takeaways from the show overall. I feel like some women really get in their own way, and this show really pointed that out. I think we give men a bad rap for not being able to commit or not being able to be emotionally vulnerable or be able to be mature and communicate. And we saw some men who exhibited those exhibited those characteristics. But these women, like they didn't have women that could love them properly. They didn't have women who had enough self-awareness to look within themselves to see what they are doing wrong or to have some accountability. Like that was the worst for me. I'm like, y'all out here making women look bad. So yeah, some women they get in their own way. Like you can have a really fulfilling relationship if you just realize where you go wrong sometimes and what you could be doing better, and not when it's too late. Not when you constantly gone off on this man and then you expect for him to embrace you and love you and just be okay with the fact that you talk to him any other kind of way. No, good men, they're not going to deal with that at all. Or men who know their worth and their value. That's why I said Mark got to work. Mark got to work on that part because he should have been there. Another thing, unresolved issues, they always come up. Like you could be as compatible as you want to be, but it will not. Like, if you haven't dealt with your own shit, it will not allow a relationship to flourish the way it needs to. Like, you just end up you just end up repeating the same ugly habits that you've had, which is why I tell people don't jump from relationship to relationship. Really sit and engage in some reflection on what are some things that you could take away from this? What are some things that you could have done better? Things that you want to be aware of moving forward. So that way you don't make similar mistakes. But if you don't do that, all of those things that are still sitting within you that haven't been resolved they're just gonna come up. And ultimately, do I believe love is blind? No, I don't. I believe that love is a choice. Love is intentional, and it is only truly experienced with effort. It's beyond the feeling. There are actions and efforts, like I said, that go along with what it means to truly love somebody. Not just the oh, we like each other, this feels right. Because feelings fade. Love, you have to get up. You got to get up every day and decide to make sure that you are showing that person that is in your life that you love them. And not just say it. Because we already know words don't typically mean a thing. Actions do. Okay, so that's all I got. Hope y'all, enjoyed this little recap. I might do one for, again, please watch 90 Day Fiancé. It's so funny. I would have tried to include clips, but, every time I do that, YouTube flag me because copyright and shit, So, enjoy the rest of y'all day.